Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. The double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Aina. The title of this video is a prayer for the overthrow of the wicked. All right, let me say that intro again. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and elders of GMS who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect. All right. So the title of the video is a prayer for the overthrow of the wicked. And pretty much that's Psalm chapter 10, right? And I went through it, I wrote precepts down, right? Ultimately, we're just hastening the day because pursuant to 2nd Esdras 9, right, we're measuring the time, diligently in itself. And we're seeing all the signs here presently, right? So the only thing you can do now is just, pray for the overthrow of the wicked and hasten the coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai. Right, this is 2 Peter 3:10. It says, "But the day of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up." Right, and we know and understand that what's going to end this thing ultimately will be, the nuclear missiles from World War III, and also the laser beams from the chariots on the return of our Lord. Right, and that's why it's going to burn up very hot, on that day, right? It's Malachi, sorry, Malachi 1 and 4:1. It says, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubbled. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashan shall host, that it shall leave them not the root and the branch." Right, so nothing will be left here in America, in the land of Israel, completely burnt up. Right, because we know for surety that those are the places that the missiles will hit. Right, and wherever else they hit, of course, nothing will be left there. Also, pursuant to Joel, the 2nd chapter, right? 2 Peter 3:11, it says, "Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought to be in all holy conversation and godliness." Right, and that's putting off the world, right? Knowing that this is not our rest, right? We seek a continuing city. All right. It says, "Looking forward and hastening unto the coming of the day of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat." So this is what we're hastening for because we understand the great reward, right, that's going to come afterwards, right? So going over here to Psalm 10, like I said, a prayer for the overthrow of the wicked. And I wrote some precepts down, so I'm going to just read them as we go. Right, and this is a prayer here. Psalms 10:1. It says, "Why standest thou far off, O Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble?" Right, and ultimately we're seeing the trouble around about. We're seeing the ice agents and the different laws and different things that are going up. Right, the scriptures say that when the enemy shall come in like a flood, then Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai shall lift up that standard. So we will be protected. This is Isaiah 45:15. It says, "Verily thou art a power that hideth himself, O God of Israel, the Savior." Right? So as you can see, this is a power that hides himself and has hid himself from us also because there are many sins. This is Deuteronomy 32:20. It says, "And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be. For they are a very poor generation, children of whom no faith." So this is what the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai does. Right? He hides his face from us, right? He departs. But he's about to show his power in a great way here in these last days. I gave you the fact that he will lift up the standard, right? He's going to visit this place with chariots, all right? Earthquake, tempests, and storms, right? Offers the peoples, right? These are how the Most High Yahweh Bashem Shai is visiting this place in these last days, and it's going to only increase. All right, Psalms 10:2, it says, "The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor, let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. Right? Psalms 2 and 1 says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Because they want to try to accomplish great things against Yahweh Bashmi Shah, right, and his elect here in these last days. Obadiah 1 and 3. It says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring him down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, then shall I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Shah. See, this is a boast that Esau is doing, saying that he's going to accomplish, all that he wants. Even Job 20 tells us that when he's about to fill his belly, right, the Most High will ultimately destroy him. And this is Job 5 and 12. It says, he disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform the enterprise. See, so even though he's definitely boasting on what he wants to do, he didn't accomplish it. Psalms 2, like I was saying, 1, why would the heathen rage and the people imagine the vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shah and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shah shall have them in derision. All right. This is Psalms 10 and 3 says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetous whom the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shah abhorred. Right? And that's the point. They bless the wicked. You see, Malachi 1 and 4, it says, whereas Edom, it's like I said, I wrote these down. All right, Malachi 1 and 4 says, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build desolate places. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shah of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the board of wickedness and the people against whom the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shah hath indignation forever. All right, Psalms 49 and 11 says that inward thought is that the houses shall continue forever, and the dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Right? Isaiah 47 and 7 says, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. All right. And once again, let's going into 3 here. It says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetous whom the Lord abhorred. So this is him, boasting against the Lord and of his heart's desire. Right, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8, or 2 and 3, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, so that they shall not come and something that come and fall on you first. And that man is sin revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalts himself above all that is called God, or that is worship, so that he as God stood in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. All right. So Psalms 10 and 4 says, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after Yahweh Bashmi Shah. Yahweh Bashmi Shah is not in all their thoughts. And what I'll do is I'll read it completely through after I get the precepts out. So reading this again, it says, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after Yahweh Bashmi Shah. Yahweh Bashmi Shah is not in all their thoughts. You have Job here, Job 21. Starting at 7, it says, wherefore do the wicked live, become old, are mighty in power. Their seed is established in their sight with them, and their offspring before their eyes. Their houses are safe and clear. Now they derive Yahweh Bashim Shah upon them. Their bull gendereth and felleth not, their cow calveth and casteth not her calf. So their animals are able to go out and get big and then put to the slaughter for food. It says they send forth the little ones by the flock, and their children dance. They take their timbrel and harp and rejoice at the sound of the organ. They spend their days in wealth, and in a moment go down to the grave. Therefore they say unto God, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of thy ways. What is the Almighty that we should serve him, and what office should we have if we pray unto him? All right, Micah 2:1 says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because they didn't empower their hand. And they cut up things and take them by violence in houses and take them away, so that oppress the man in his house, even a man in his heritage. All right, jump down Micah 2:10. It says, arise and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is cruel, it will destroy you, even with a sword destruction. Right? And that's going into okay. All right, it's like I read some precepts earlier that I wasn't supposed to read just now, but the Job 21:7 on down to 13 was for this precept here. All right, so let me get these other ones. I'll read this again. Psalms 10:4 says, the wicked through the part of his countenance will not seek after Yahweh Bashmel Shai. Yahweh Bashmel Shai is not in all his thoughts. All right, and the precepts I got for that. And I'll read in this Psalms 12:4 says, Psalm 43, it said, the Lord Yahweh Bashmel Shai shall cut off all flattering lips, and the tongue that speaketh proud things, who have said with our tongue will we prevail. Our lips are our own. Who is the Lord over us? All right. Psalm 102, 15 says, so the heathen shall fear the name of the Lord Yahweh Bashmel Shai in all the earth, and all the kings of the earth thy glory. Hopefully just going to the point of them fearing the name of the Lord Yahweh Bashmel Shai. Says the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after Yahweh Bashmel Shai. Yahweh Bashmel Shai is not for their thoughts. Right, but ultimately, they will, right, pursuant to was Isaiah 2, right, the nations, being gathered unto us. But moving on, it says Psalms 10:5, his ways are always grievous, thy judgments are far above out of his sight, as for his enemies who puffeth at them. Right, and then you have the part which says thy judgments are far above out of his sight. You have Psalm 147, right, because the Most High Yahweh Bashmel Shai did not give judgment to these devils. Psalms 147:19, he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation, and as for the judgments, they have not known them. Praise you, the Lord Yahweh Bashmel Shai. All right. And then that's when I had Micah 2:1, Micah 2:10. Says Micah 2:1, woe to them that divide iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because they didn't power their hand. Micah 2:10, it says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction. All right, that's why it says his ways are always grievous, right? Because he had the power. Job 9:24 said the earth is given to man to look at. So he has the power to make things hard for you. All right, he doesn't know judgment. He's constantly puffing at his enemies. That's why he's doing these different things, pushing out these different decrees. We're at 6. Psalms 10:6, he had said in his heart, I shall not remove, for I shall never be in adversity. And you can get again Isaiah 47:7. What I got is over here. Psalms 10:8 says, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, in the secret places those who murder the innocent. His eyes are probably set against the poor. Privy, right? It says, he lieth and waits secretly as a lion in his den. relied on weight to catch the poor, he will catch the poor when he draws into his net. And that is what his, you know, like his policies, law, and different things. First, okay. It's like I said, I'm reading this that I wrote down. A little when you get the precept, you can go look over these precepts yourself. All right, so let me read this again. Psalms 10:6. He has said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. Right, and the precept that I pulled for that was Isaiah 10, and starting at 8 here, it says, "For he saith, are not my princes altogether kings? Is not Kolno as Karshemish? Is not Hamath as Arpon? Is not Samaria as Damascus? As my hand hath found the kingdoms of the idols, and whose graven images did excel from them of Jerusalem and of Samaria, shall I not, as I have done unto Samaria and her idols, so do to Jerusalem and her idols?" So he's, basically saying that, he can take over, Jerusalem. It says, "Shall I not, as I have done to Samaria and her idols, so do to Jerusalem and her idols?" Right? Because it says here, he said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. So he's accomplishing all these different things. It's not hard for him to continue. Wherefore, it shall come to pass that when the Lord Yahweh shall have performed his whole work upon Mount Zion, in Jerusalem, I will punish the fruit of the stout heart of the king of Syria and the glory of his high looks. For he said, by the strength of my hand have I done it, and by my wisdom I have proved it, and I have removed the bounds of the people, and have wrought the treasures, and I have put down inhabitants like a valiant man. Right? And my hand hath found as a nest the riches of the people, and as one gathered eggs that are left, have I gathered all the earth, and there was none that moved the wind or opened the mouth or peeped. Right. So he's saying, he did all of this. He can't remove nothing and stop him. And you can even see Trump talking that stuff right now. He said we bombed this guy, we bombed this guy, no one did nothing. We'll do it again. That's this type of things that he's all saying. All right. Psalms 10:7 says, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. All right. Revelations 13:5. It says, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months, which is about 50-year period, right? Which we're in that time period right now. Right. So his judgment is near, right? It says, and he opened his mouth and blasphemed against Yahweh Bashmal Shah, to blaspheme his name in his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. So the angels, the elect, right? Even Yahweh Bashmal Shah themselves. Right? This is this devil with his mouth and his pride, full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. Right? This is Psalms 10:8. It says, he sitteth in the murky places of the villages, in the secret places do he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. Right? And once again, that that goes into how he set up his world, right? Through the laws, the policy, and different things like that. This is Psalm 64 and 1. It says, hear my voice, O Yahweh Bashmal Shai, my prayer preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who wet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even with words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect submarine, do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in evil matter, they commune of long snares privately. They say, who shall see them? All right, this is how that devil moved, and the snares and traps that he laid, these different decrees. Isaiah 10:1, woe to them that decree and writes decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. To turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. All right, you got Daniel 8:25. And through his policy, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without him. Right. Once again, the different policies and laws. Like even just setting things up where you can't do certain things, to benefit you. I know certain areas they don't allow, multiple wives, for marriage, and these different things that can help you and help your household and have more income and different things that this devil by peace have destroyed in. But he's saying, oh no, don't do that basically. You put the sword to your neck, but he basically bounds you by policy. Psalm 10:9 says, he laughed and wait secretly as a lion in his den. He laughed and wait to catch the poor. He will catch the poor when he draws him into his net. He croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strongness. Says he hath said in his heart, Yahweh Bashmel Shah hath forgotten and hideth his face. He will never see it. All right. Psalms 50:21 says these things, Psalm 50:20, thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, and thou slanderest thine own mother's son. These things hast thou done, and I kept silent. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eye. All right. And what is that? That's how does he do that? He's the acute of the brethren too. Revelation 12:10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accuse them before our power day and night. So this devil is accusing us to Yahweh Bashim Shai day and night, but he's the one setting these traps and these snares, right? And he think the Most High isn't peeping that. All right. So moving on. Says Psalms 10:12, arise, O Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai, lift up thine hand, forget not the humble. Wherefore doth the wicked condemn Yahweh Bashim Shai, he hath said in his heart that will not require it. But he will, a recompense will be made. Scripture say give him double. All right. It talks about he that leaped in captivity shall go into captivity. This is the patience and the faith of the saints. Okay. So Psalms 10:14 says, thou hast seen it, for thou holdest mischief in spite to requite with thy hand. The poor committeth himself unto thee, thou art the helper of the fatherless. All right. So he will help. Let me grab the Job. I don't think I want to grab it actually. Bear with me. Job 21. Okay, right here. Job 21 and 29. It says, have ye not asked them that go by the way, and do ye not know their tokens, that the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction? They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath. Who shall declare his way to his face, and who shall repay him what he hath done? Yet shall he be brought to the grave and shall remain in the tomb. See, so death and destruction is waiting, for these devils. It says Psalms 10:15, break thou the arm of the wicked, and the evil man seek out his wickedness till thou find none. The Lord Yahweh Bashim is king forever and ever. The heathen are perished out of his land. The Lord Yahweh Bashim Thou hast heard the desire of the humble, that will prepare their heart, that will cause thine ear to hear. Right? This is John 9:31. Says, now we know that Yahweh Bashmi Shai heareth not sinners, but if any man be a worshipper of Yahweh Bashmi Shai and doeth his will, him he heareth. Psalms 34:15 says, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Shai are on the righteous, and his ears are open unto their cry. All right. Psalms 10:18, it says to judge the fatherless and to oppress, uh, that the man of the earth may no more oppress. Read this again. It says Psalm 10:17, Lord, thou hast heard the desire of the humble, thou prepare their heart, that will cause thine ear to hear, to judge the fatherless and the oppressed, that the man of the earth may no more oppress. Right? We understand and know that that's all this devil has done. Isaiah 14:6 says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continuous growth, he that ruled the nation in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. Right? And that's the wicked, right? That's currently ruling today. Esau, Edom. All right. Nahum 3:19, it says, there is no healing of thy bruise, thy wound is grievous. All that hear the bruit of thee shall clap their hands over thee, for upon whom hath not thy wickedness passed continually. Right? So this devil has, hurt the earth and oppressed. All right. And that's the end of that. So now I'm just read this prayer outright. A prayer for the overthrow of the wicked. Psalms 10:1. Why standest thou afar off, O Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? The wicked and his pride will persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai abhorreth. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after Yahweh Bashem Shai. Yahweh Bashem Shai is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous, thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. He croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his groanings. He hath said in his heart, Yahweh Bashem shall have forgotten. He hideth his face. He will never see it. Arise, O Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai. O power, lift up thine hand. Forget not the humble. Wherefore doth the wicked condemn Yahweh Bashem Shai? He hath said in his heart that will not require it. Thou hast seen it, for thou beholdest mischief and spite to requite with thy hand. The poor committeth himself unto thee. Thou art the helper of the fatherless. Break thou the arm of the wicked and the evil man. Seek out his wickedness till there found none. The Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai is king forever and ever. The heathen are perished out of his land. The Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai, thou hast heard the desire of the humble, that will prepare their heart, that will cause thine ear to hear, to judge the fatherless and the oppressed, that the man of the earth may no more oppress. Right? And Lord willing, you edify from the lesson. Shalom to the hopeful elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom